Hello there, and welcome to the next in the series of interviews for the Facebook group Channeling Development and Spiritual Growth. My name is Kim Chamberlain, and I have the great pleasure of being able to interview experienced channelers. So today we have with us Susan Crystal Diamond, who I've known for a number of years now and have been extremely impressed with her work. So we are very fortunate to have her with us today. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for that. It's lovely to be here.
Okay, so tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you and what are you about?
Okay, thank you. Well, I am a way shower. I love
Mhm.
to support souls to come into their own strength. So I like to bring people into their soul, their heart. I do this through channeling. So I've been channeling for quite a long time. And the biggest tool that I have at the moment is the light language. So I work with the language of light, the language of the universe, the soul language. So I bring this in and support people using that as one of my main tools. And I also take groups. So I have a smaller group and then I've expanded and I have a larger group. So I'm bringing through my passion, my light. I'm a channel of the light, and I bring this through in larger groups, which has been exciting and a little bit challenging because it's a little bit bigger, you know. Yeah.
Oh, excellent, excellent. I know I've been to several of your groups and the light language you
Yes.
bring through is really quite amazing.
Oh, thank you.
All
Thank you.
right, so what channeling do you actually do?
What channeling do I do? Okay, so I have a council that step in,
Oh, yes.
council of 12, they step in, they offer great wisdom. They come through at the most appropriate time. I can either call on them or they are there. And I know when they're coming through because I feel in my being, wow, that was good. Thank you for that. Um, yes, I am a channel of light. So what I bring through is of the highest. It is very much of the light, higher frequency. I When I am working with a soul, I bring through the higher frequency. It's like a healing. It's a supportive energy frequency that permeates, filters through me, through my body, and goes into the environment, into the room. And those that are open to receive, those that are ready to receive the different um, strength of it, let's say, will. So if it's in a group or a private session, I will get the feedback. They will say, oh, that went, or this has come up for me, or oh, this has been revealed, and so forth, because that's what light does. It shines a light on what is needing to be addressed for each individual person. Um, the light speaks to the soul of the being, the DNA, the cells of the body, as opposed to the mental body. So it bypasses that. So it has the ability to calm calm the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I in my the transmissions of the light language, when I bring in the language that speaks to the deeper part of the person, I can bring through galactic, dragon, Mother Earth, angelic, masters, whatever, but it's not for me to necessarily know. The humans and the people that are often in my space might ask, and they might get a sense of what it is. It as it becomes more form, it can take on the form of either dragon, unicorn, this, that, and the other, which the human in a way calls for because that helps them to assimilate it. But for me, I don't actually always know because there's so many coming through. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
a funnel like that, and then comes through and comes through me. And then all these different intonations, tones, and languages will come through. Yeah,
Wow, that's fascinating.
it is. It is a bit.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And thank you. It is, Kim.
Wow.
It's taken me a while to, what's the word? To own it is the word. Taken me
Yes.
a while to actually speak quite openly about it, because I've been doing this quite, let's say, consciously for a decade. But as a child, I was doing it, and as a parent, I was doing it when needed. It used to come through to my children. And now the world is ready for this. So there's a lot
Yes.
more people that are, their soul language is emerging, they are comfortable speaking it, and then there's a lot more that are channeling and bringing in lots of different dialects of light language. So it's a lot more accepted. And so that's exciting for me. So now I can blossom further with it, you know?
Yes, exactly. And
Mm,
talk about it a bit more openly in the world.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So when you're actually channeling, do
Yeah.
you have like a ritual that you go through?
Yes, I do. I set an intention. I make sure I'm open to receive. I
Hmm.
am open to receive. I'm a channel of light. I open myself to receive this. It's like maybe a little meditation, sort of sitting a little bit quietly, connecting through my heart, and making sure I'm grounded. Okay, that's really important. The light is actually very heavy. It sounds crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the higher frequencies, as they're coming through our body, can knock us around, as
Mm,
we all know,
mm,
on a global scale at the moment, because people are being knocked around by the influx of greater light
mhm.
frequency on the planet. As a channel of light, I had to adjust and become accustomed to the force of the light coming through me, and make sure that uh, I haven't had a meal, as an example, prior to a session, or a very light meal, because I don't want to be heavy in my belly, and drinking lots of water,
Mm,
things like that. And before I do group sessions, or any session, to be honest, I set a sacred space. So that's for me to know how I set that. But I have a ritual around the way I set my space, so that it's fully contained, and we'll use the word protected, let's say. It's of the highest degree.
mhm.
And then at the end, as a ritual of gratitude and thanking that has been, I will dismantle it. So I set it, dismantle it. So that's something I do. Um, Trust. I have I have a knowing that, having done it now for a period of time, I have more relaxed, so I don't get too stressed, and I trust the process. And
Yeah.
it comes through your body, so it comes through your whole body. So generally, I have to, every single day, have to be very mindful of my mental body, emotional body, physical body. I need to be well. I need to be strong, and
Mm,
I need to walk up hills and have strength of body to contain and work with this frequency and the energy in the work I do. So this is really important. Yeah.
wow, that's a really interesting way of looking at it, making sure your body is physically right to be able to do this high level work.
Yep. Yep.
And it's also very interesting that you talked about dismantling. No one's talked about that before. They've talked about setting up, but they haven't talked about dismantling. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's like please and thank you.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
really
A
that
beginning and an end.
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just my way. It may not be other people's ways. And keeping in mind that we all, I know from channeling my higher self as a child, as a young one, I had a lot of wisdom for my age. I was bringing through um, wisdom and seeing through situations, and that is a direct link to higher self,
Mm.
which is a form of channeling. You're bringing through the wisdom of your the
Yes.
greater part of self, as opposed to the smaller part of self.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's different. That's a different, there's different ways we can go about channeling. So I would have not even been aware that that's what was happening in
Mm.
those years. I was just told that be careful what you say, getting told off for mentioning what I'd seen because I could see through and beyond. And, so therefore my communication has always been, so it has often got me into trouble because I am like an innocent child. I
Yes.
say things, this is that's the other thing about channeling is we have emptied ourselves out of a lot of that emotional and mental stuff. So we have purified our system. So we come back to innocence, and through innocence, we're connecting to our inner senses because they come online
Mm.
with channeling our inner senses.
Ah, interesting. Innocence,
Yeah,
inner
very
senses.
much.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
And that's, we know what they are. They're clear audience and clear
Yes.
sentience and all those, and the intuition, which speaks through our heart, becomes a lot clearer,
Mm.
of course.
Of course.
So the whole, yeah,
So for people who are starting out with
yeah.
channeling, do you have any advice for them?
Oh, wow.
Big question, I know.
Okay, my advice would be practice.
Yes.
Don't be aware of when you're getting in your own way. Be aware of when your ego self is holding you back, because it's quite natural, really, and this will be revealed to us in 2025, 2026 as the evolution of the human race, so that a lot more people will understand that they are naturally able to channel in varying different ways because we're all unique. Trust the unseen. Remember that we are often channeling unseen. So the
Mm.
unseen is being revealed at this time on the planet. So there's
Mm.
more connection to the unseen, as in the galactics, as you know,
Mhm.
it's more commonly spoken about. And from my understanding, they're going to start revealing themselves. We are seeing little ripples of light and things in the sky, and I've felt them in meditation, sort of stumbling across my feet, even. So trust the unseen. Okay, trust the unseen. Trust what you're getting. Ground. If you can't ground what you're receiving, or if you're not grounded, if you're too in the air,
Mm.
that's not actually. Balance is really important. And remembering we're all unique. Some people have to sit in meditation and have their eyes closed for quite a period of time. Some people prefer to stand up and move because the energy is wanting them to move, etc. Also, when you first start channeling, you can get that which is not of light coming
Mm.
through.
Mhm.
So that does, the smaller, lesser beings that I call them riffraff. I don't deal with that. That's just
Yes.
me.
Yes.
So I got taught something years and years ago in I've done numerous studies and, over the many, many years that I've been on this journey, which should be more like decades. And it was Kuduish, 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 Adonai Sapayot. Kuduish, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sabaoth. Holy, holy, holy Lord of hosts. So it was something that was taught to me to say if you weren't sure. Who
Oh,
are
okay.
you?
Yes.
And it's like a prayer. It's like a frequency thing that will just flick them away if they're not of the light. So you
Mm.
can ask, who are you? Who are
Mm.
you? So because I haven't, it's been a while since I've been learning, now I'm practicing and trusting, which is a different phase of it, it's hard to go back to remember how it was in the early days. I feel for me, because I came in a little bit more galactic, a little bit, I'm an Aquarian, so I came in ready for these times, which meant it was actually quite hard, as a way shower, pushing dense energy away, as we get to these beautiful times. I believe I was really channeling quite naturally. I think it's just a natural, without realizing it at the time, what I was doing, bringing through the wisdom and doing what I did, and even the light language as a child and so forth. Yeah. So, make sure that you drink water, definitely lots of water. It's a lubricant. Maybe a meditation before you start, go into the zone, connect. And the most important thing is it comes through the center of your being. It isn't a head thing. So for me, when I channel, I feel my heart beating really fast. Like, it's a real ripple. It's a ripple. The energy that goes through my center of my body, it's like, ooh, I can feel the ripple, and I'm very stimulated afterwards. There's certain things I have to do after I've dismantled the portal, let's say, and then into the, a little bit after, I have to maybe go into nature, have something to eat, often because I haven't eaten. Then I need to have something, just to bring me back to the fourth and fifth dimension that's available here, because I've been bringing through energies and languages that come from, a different frequency through my body. Yeah, so my main priority really at this point in my life, because I'm in service here at this time, is to look after myself.
Yes.
Really important to look after yourself. So there's channeling your higher self, which isn't as intense, and we can all bring through the wisdom of our higher self, and that can be quite a natural process, and honoring it and recognizing it and desiring it to be a natural way of being, because that is the best place to be connected to our presence, our I am presence, day to day. Yeah.
That's really, there's a lot to know about channeling, but that's really helpful advice for people starting out.
Well,
I
it is
really like
really.
that. Trust the unseen. I really like that. Living
Yes.
in the energy of trust rather than the energy of doubt is so beneficial for doing
Yes,
this work.
I believe so. Mm.
Look, we could probably talk
Yeah.
for hours.
Oh, look, I could, because I'm a natural communicator, Kim. So before I go, I'll just, I can always feel when someone's wanting, it goes down my spine, so I can feel my spine getting, a little bit, and the energy's rippling. So I'll just do a little, ora, ia, na, shakwe, aramati kiato wate kiata, shiawaya iata, akiata, iata, iata.
Thank you so much. For those who might not be familiar, that is a form of light language.
Yes, and
Thank you,
there's
Susan.
many dialects, many forms of it as well.
Lovely.
Yes, yes,
Beautiful energy.
yes,
Thank
yes.
you so much for this. What I will do below is put a link to Susan's website if you would like to make contact, if you would like to go
I don't
on.
actually have my website up and running. I'm in the process of putting it together again. I
Right.
have my Susan Crystal Diamond Light Activations Facebook page, which
Oh,
is an
right. Yes.
open one, which mentions my events. I shall be doing some online events next year, as well as my larger group, which will be held in a bigger space. At the moment, I'm in Paraparaumu, and anybody who is curious about my work, wants to connect with me, can do so via Messenger, or even, I don't mind even my cell phone number I will give you, Kim. You can pop that on. I believe you have it anyway. I'm happy
Yes.
to connect
Yes.
with people. I love sharing what I do. It's my passion. Yes,
We know, we can feel the passion coming through. It's wonderful.
yes. Oh, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, Kim. You're doing great work. Yes,
Thank you for this. It's so helpful for other people. Thank you, Susan.
you're very welcome.